What's up, EV Clan? Alex Espion here, and welcome back to the next episode of the Pokemon Red Randomizer Nuzlocke, where in this episode we are fighting this Team Rocket Runt. I am one of the 4 Rocket Brothers. Oh, we are fighting one of the 4 Rocket Brothers. What an honor. I've actually fought one of them before in this series, but this is the second one. I don't know where the other 2 are. Maybe this isn't the second one. Maybe you were supposed to do a different one first. I don't know. I don't know the order because they all look the same. So how would I? It's not like that one circle of It's not like that one triangle of trainers where it's like in Scarlet and Violet where they're like all dragon tamers and like I am the first of the Dragon Sisters and I am the second of the Dragon Sisters. I don't know. I don't know if they were called Dragon Sisters. I don't really remember. But there's like a triangle of Dragon Tamers at some point in Scarlet and Violet. Might I just say, like, I haven't beaten Scarlet and Violet yet, but Scarlet and Violet like seem really good. I gotta get around to it soon. Definitely after I complete this series, I will go beat Scarlet and Violet because they are such good games, and I just like haven't been beating them because I've got so much Pokemon on my plate. But like, I am so excited to beat those games because I'm just honestly so excited for more. Like, they are really good. It's like, it's great how well it transitions, Pokemon transitions into like open worlds, and it's not like really open world. It kind of is. Like, it's very open world. Like, by Pokemon standards, very open world. You do get like a lot of you do get some sort of direction, but I feel like even with open world games, it's like most of them you do get direction even still. Like, they are open world, but there is direction even still. Like, you would call Breath of the Wild an open world game, certainly. And like, even Breath of the Wild is like some sense of direction. Like, they do like give you, like, there is a certain, even then there's like a certain order, and I don't really quite remember like what is pushing you in like what Divine Beast order, but I know there's like a certain order that you're supposed to, that like is very intended. The order is supposed to, it's like clearly the intended way you're supposed to go. I think you're supposed to do Vomito before I feel like Vomito is something that requires cold. I think Vomito is before Flame Out! Vomito is before Naboris. It's been so long since I played Breath of the Wild. Oh dear, help me, please! What do you have to say, lady? Something to that degree? Look at him. He's such a coward. Nope. She is nice and brave. Slay, girl. They must have targeted Sylph for our Pokemon products. Indeed, they are looking for the Master Ball, I suppose, because they created Mewtwo or something, and they want to catch it. I don't know. I don't know how much this aligns with the anime, first movie or whatever, but the Rockets came and took over the building. Team Rocket is trying to conquer the world with Pokemon. Yeah, I mean, if they caught Mewtwo, that would definitely help with that mission. But, if you stand for justice, you betray evil. Oh, okay, that's what he was talking about with betrayal, because I was asking about that before. I was like, why, in the previous episode, because he was like, how dare you betray Team Rocket? And I'm like, I can't betray Team Rocket if I never worked for you in the first place. But apparently, he considers a betrayal simply because I am fighting against them. And I guess it's still not a betrayal, is it? Because he's like betraying evil. I can't be betraying evil if I was always fighting evil. That's not how betrayal works. This guy doesn't know what betrayal is. I will show you betrayal, sir. But yeah, I don't think that any of the stairs actually lead to where we need to go in order to like get to Giovanni. So I think that we have to like teleport into the room. Like, I think that at some point the stairs just stop going up, and we have to keep going up, but we can't get up to like the further floors unless we teleport up. I think at a certain point we need to start using the teleport pads. I am one of the 4 Team Rocket Brothers, not Team Rocket Brothers, Rocket Brothers. Yo, Pokemon, like, Pokemon Jukebox, I don't know if that's what it's called. Maybe it was a Pokemon Jukebox, maybe it was Pikachu Jukebox. All those songs go so hard. Like, can I just say, I miss when that was a thing in Pokemon anime. Because they had that. They had, like, all these songs that used to play after every episode. And don't get me wrong, Poké Rap was good. Like, I travel across the land, searching far and wide. I unleash from my hand the power that's inside. Oh my gosh, Poké Rap was good. But, like, it is still just naming Pokemon really fast. Also, I glossed over the fact that I just switched a Haunter into a Mewtwo. But I did definitely do that, which was very stupid of me. I'm very happy Alice didn't die there. But I guess it wouldn't make much sense if they did, because Mewtwo is 13 levels below us. But yeah, Earthquake should do a considerable amount of damage. It is a Mewtwo, but at the same time, this is a stab Earthquake. So it might even one-shot, who knows, because we are 13 levels above. Then again, I shouldn't be like I shouldn't underestimate Mewtwo, yeah. He just barely hung on. We're gonna go for the disrespectful, I think not very effective Acid. I didn't think another Psychic was killing, but hey, that's good that they went for Swift, so I wouldn't have to worry about it anyway. I wouldn't worry about it anyway, because a critical hit definitely would have killed. Let me think, because if I do the calculations in my head right now, I had 80 before the Swift. And then, if they went for Psychic there, if Psychic had done 54 damage the previous, yeah, it would have had to be a crit for Psychic to have killed there. But luckily we didn't have to worry about that because they just didn't go for Psychic. I am honestly so confident in Kyle's abilities that I'm just going to stay in and go for the Earthquake. Who cares if it's a Water type? Guess what? I don't. I'm just going to go for the Earthquake and it's going to kill because Kyle's that broken. Kyle is that broken, guys. Bruh, it is so nice to have a Golem on the team. Ack! Brothers, I lost! Because it's something that you don't normally get access to unless you have actual friends, which I don't. So I can't do trade evolutions. So I never... Like, in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, I had a Golem on my team. But it wasn't a Golem until, like, the very end of the game, just because I needed to, like, find... Like, the majority of the game is spent as a Graveler, just because I couldn't find anyone to trade with. Oh-ho, I smell a little rat! So it's, like, really cool to be using a Golem, at a normal point to be using a Golem. Like, it's really cool to have a Golem that, like, not right before the Pokemon League. Just be able to, like, actually put it to use. We need to get Albert out the front, though, because they are the highest level, and, they are currently out of moves, so we need to stop switch training them here. What are we out against? Okay, we're out against a Bulbasaur, so we need to go for something that can take down a Bulbasaur. We are going to go for not the Golem, because the Golem probably could take down the Bulbasaur, but I don't want to take a super effective hit, even if it is just from a Bulbasaur. Because you never know, this Bulbasaur could be super jacked, and I just don't know it. But we go for the Fly, which is super effective, and we're going to take this thing down. So nice having some flying coverage. I don't think I've had flying coverage before. Not only is it great having coverage on Carly, but it's also great that it's like coverage that we did not have before. Because flying is just like good, because grass types are so common, it's just good to have flying type coverage. But yeah, in the previous episode, I was going through Silph.co, as I was doing the episode before that as well. And I'm recording all these episodes in a row. I'm doing all the Silph.co episodes today, I'm recording them all today. I don't know if they'll all go up today. If they did, that would be great, because I have a lot of episodes to, I have a lot of episodes to catch up on. I haven't been posting episodes as much as I've wanted to, but hey, that's okay. I got things to do, and they're honestly, like, they're fun things, so I'm happy that I'm able to do them. And, but I do not want to, I also do not want to let, I do not want to let, like, all 2 of the people watching who don't know me personally down. So, if you ever want to watch an episode, I want to have it out for you. So, I'm going to just see if I can catch up on uploads today. I'm going to see if I can make up for some of the missed ones. I might not be able to because my computer because YouTube might just say, well, this episode's going to take 8 hours to upload, and I'm going to be like, well, okay, I guess there goes that. But it'd be great if I could post like 3 episodes today, because that helps make up for all the episodes I've missed recently. But yeah, I was talking about in the last episode, and this is another result of me recording multiple episodes in a row. I'm not thinking about the fact that, like, I am leaving you hanging with certain conversations. I'll, like, start a conversation and then not finish it. I'll start talking about a topic and then I'll not finish talking about it, because I'll be like, oh, I'll just talk about it in 5 minutes from now. Not realizing that that's, like, a completely different episode, so you're gonna have to wait. like, at the very least, like, 5 hours to hear the rest of that topic. Lights out. It's a cliffhanger, guys. Don't you like cliffhangers? Isn't it a really interesting cliffhanger to hear the ending of my discussion about Victory Bell? Like, anyway, as I was saying about, like, Victory Bell in the last episode. In the last episode, I said that I thought it was a pitcher plant. And in case y'all don't know what a pitcher plant is, I was going to explain it in the last episode. And I just kind of didn't. Like, I started to, and then I got hung up on what a pitcher is, and so I didn't really finish the explanation. You mistook me for a sylph worker? Okay, so, there's another thing that I was talking about in the last episode. Because I was saying, are all these scientists sylph workers who have revolted against their president, or are they Team Rocket scientists, or they're scientists that work for Team Rocket? And I found one that says the president shouldn't have sent me to do this, sent me to this branch, and like, okay, so this guy clearly worked for the Sylphco president. This guy is clearly an employee of Sylphco. But are all of them employees of Sylphco? This answers that question. No, they are not. This guy said, you mistook me for a Sylphco scientist, for a Sylphco employee. So that means that he clearly is not. He is a scientist working for Team Rocket, not Sylphco. So there are both here. Not all scientists in this place are working for Sylphco, and not all scientists in this place are working for Team Rocket. It's a mix of both. Okay, that's interesting. And not all of the people, not even all the scientists fighting you in this place are working for Team Rocket. And some of them are just Sylphco workers that are really fed up with their jobs. The more you know. But anyway, in last episode, I was going to explain what a pitcher plant is, because I said that I thought Victory Bell is a pitcher plant. And in between episodes, my brother told me some stuff about Victory Bell, and now I know that they are absolutely a pitcher plant. But what a pitcher plant is, I was going to explain it in the last episode, and not only did I not finish explaining it, but I barely started explaining it. So what it is a plant that is like a pitcher, a cylinder that goes down, that is like a cylinder that goes down and has a big hole in the top and has a bottom. And in real life, what it does is it holds liquids, such as lemonade. As you see, like many people, as you see, like in cartoons, many people have like lemonade stands. They have like a pitcher of lemonade with them, and they pour it in a cup, and then they give you the plastic cup. Bada bing, bada boom. They got some lemonade sold to you, and you just gave them like $5. It's like terribly overpriced lemonade, but you don't care because they're a kid, so they don't know the value of money at all. So it's like, okay, they don't know they're overcharging you, but hey, maybe they do, but you're not gonna question it because they're a child. Anyway, so pitchers, obviously in real life, are full of liquid, and pitcher plants actually are also full of liquid. They are plants that are like they are carnivorous plants. And when you think of carnivorous plants, I'm sure that the majority of you instantly think of Venus flytrap. Dare I say, all of you instantly think of Venus flytrap, because Venus flytrap is such an iconic carnivorous plant. Like, it is the carnivorous plant. You think of carnivorous plant, you think of carnivore, you think of eating meat. And when you think of eating meat, you think of animals that can kill. And so, you think of carnivorous plant, you think of a plant that can kill. And what plant more looks like it could kill than the plant that literally its leaves are shaped like a mouth with teeth? Obviously, they are not like actual teeth. They are not as hard as teeth. They are not sharp like teeth. They are still leaves, but they still do have. And like so actually getting bitten by a Venus flytrap would not hurt nearly as much and do nearly as much damage. It would not do a whole lot of damage to an actual person's arm, probably. I'm done. They probably wouldn't even snap down on a person's arm ordinarily, unless that person was really getting in there. But in case you don't know how Venus flytraps work, basically, flies go into them and they get stuck. At which point the Venus flytrap snaps shut, and the snapping motion is actually I think is quite fast, but it actually is not it has speed behind it, yes, which makes it more dangerous, but at the same time it is still two leaves that are snapping closed, and yeah, they are pretty dense leaves, but it is still 2 leaves. So, like, yeah, I'm sure getting snapped by a Venus flytrap as a person wouldn't do too much damage. Like, yes, it might hurt a little. Maybe it would draw, like, a small... I don't even know. Like, would their teeth just bend? I don't really know. Because, like, the thing is, with a fly, they never get, like, snapped down on. So you don't really get to see, like, carnage of them just getting, like, impaled by the spike. So I don't really know how sharp the spike is. But I feel like when, like, it snaps down, the spikes sort of, like, bend. Like, the teeth of it. They're not really teeth, obviously, because teeth are made of bone, and that's not made of bone. So I don't really know, like, how hard and sharp they are. But I'd imagine they're not, like, too sharp to the point where if a human actually got snapped down on them by a Venus flytrap, it really wouldn't do anything. I feel like the teeth would just bend. But don't quote me on that one. You might just start bleeding. I don't know. I just assume that it would just, like, bend the teeth. It would just, like, bend the leaf. Like, it probably wouldn't do much at all. But that may not be true. I might have to do some more research into that. Definitely don't take this as actual, like, wildlife survival advice. That's as far as you'll go. Please do not say, well, the YouTuber man told me that getting bitten down on by a Venus flytrap is fine, so I should be fine here. And then come crying to me when I'm like, when you're bleeding because you got bit by a Venus flytrap. Like, I don't think that's how it works. But at the same time, I've never been bitten by a Venus flytrap before. So, don't take me entirely to my word on this one. You should probably research it for yourself before you go getting bitten by Venus flytraps. But regardless of whether the actual biting of the Venus flytrap does anything, the point is that Venus flytraps, their bite is not what's designed to kill the fly. What's designed to kill the fly is that when they bite down, the mouth closes around the fly, and the teeth of the leaf, as I've dubbed them, sort of form like a cage, which traps the fly in the mouth, and then the enzymes of the mouth break down the fly slowly. Excuse me for 1 second, guys. Okay, so thank you for being patient. Thank you for waiting. I am back, and yeah. So basically, what actually kills the flies with a Venus flytrap it is a trap. And yes, a trap can be deadly, but in this case, it is the sort of trap where it's just sort of like meant to keep the animal there. It's not meant to like immediately kill them. And plants really don't like do that. They aren't like aggressive. Like I'm gonna kill you right now. They are like even carnivorous plants are not aggressive, like trying to actively kill something, like just straight up attacking it. Venus flytraps, the biting down is not really an attack, but rather just a tactic in order to keep the prey in place, keep the prey from escaping, while the enzymes in it break it down. Really, the Venus flytrap is not just like biting into something and then killing it. It is biting down in order to trap something inside of it, and then it slowly dies. Really, the killing of a fly in the Venus flytrap is a much slower process than just chew, swallow. Because it's not swallowing it. It is breaking it down with enzymes and then slowly digesting it. I shouldn't say digesting it because it's not like it has like a digestive tract, but anyway, that is like the most notable carnivorous plant that everyone knows about. However, one that I feel is less known about is the pitcher plant. Mind you, I'm sure if you've heard of a Venus flytrap, then many of you have probably also heard of a pitcher plant. Because, frankly, you probably know at least Venus flytrap and pitcher plant if you've gotten through, like, 7th grade. Because they do... I feel like in school, they teach, like, a decent amount about carnivorous plants to the point where it's like, like, it's kind of weird, you know? It's like, this is such weird knowledge for them to cover so much. I mean, it's cool and all that plants do this, but at the same time, it's like, the majority of people, this is probably never going to come in handy. Like, how many people run into, like, Venus flytraps? Like, I can see how some people, it would be good to learn in school what a Venus flytrap is. But, like, me personally, I don't live in an area where there's Venus flytraps, so I don't know why they spent so much time on that in my school, so, like, but, like, anyway, pitcher plants. They are pretty well known about in the way of, carnivorous plants. However, not nearly as well known as Venus flytraps. Venus flytraps, obviously, something that adds to their popularity is their depiction in media. And obviously in media they are depicted as much more dangerous than they are in real life, to my knowledge. Like I said, I don't really know, I'm not entirely sure, but I don't think it's like a Mario situation where this thing just bites down on you and draws blood. Like, I don't think Venus flytraps in real life do that much damage to human beings, because the bite isn't what's supposed to kill the fly. Like, the bite isn't even supposed to kill the fly, let alone kill a person. Like, I don't think that the bite of a Venus flytrap actually does that much damage. It's the act of putting the bug in a cage that is the purpose of the bite, so therefore why would the bite be powerful? But, I mean, like I said, don't, like, take this as fact. Just because I'm saying it doesn't mean it's fact. Just because someone says something on the internet doesn't mean it's fact. But, like, in media, they are depicted as, like, much more dangerous than I think they are in real life. Not enough grit, because, like, Mario, you know, they don't have, like, Venus flytraps, they have piranha plants, and piranha plants, as the name would indicate, they bite hard. They have actual teeth. Like, that is like sort of media depiction of Venus flytraps, and the way that media depicts them is like, I'm fairly sure they depict them as a lot more dangerous than they actually are, because like you get things like the Deku Babas and piranha plants that are in like Mario and Legend of Zelda respectively that are terrifying, and I don't think that Venus flytraps really are to humans in real life. Like, don't get me wrong, the whole process of trapping a bug in and then slowly breaking it down is scary, but like, it's not really something a human has to worry about. Like, it sounds really scary, but like, is that a problem for humans? No, they're not gonna get trapped in a Venus flytrap. The Venus flytrap is gonna bite down, and then it's gonna be like, huh, well that's not a fly. So, Venus flytraps are depicted a lot in media because media knows how to make them scary. It gives them like actual teeth, or like makes them really big, or to the point where and gives them like super bite force or whatever. Makes them like actually aggressive, like hostile things that attack. But in real life, that's not really what they are. Their goal, unlike in media, where their goal is to like bite down and draw blood, and like actually chomp down on you. In real life, their goal is simply to trap something small inside of them. The teeth aren't meant to actually like kill things, but that's how people choose to depict them in media. And because they are like sort of plants with teeth, a lot of different sources of media, a lot of different movies and video games and stuff have chosen to depict them in a variety of in the form of a variety of monsters. But show Team Rocket a little respect. But pitcher plants are depicted a lot less commonly in video games and movies. And what pitcher plants are is that obviously as I said, they are shaped sort of like pitchers. Like pitchers, they are filled with liquid. It is a slippery liquid, and what happens is that flies are lured onto pitcher plants by like their colors. And so then from there, while they are on top of the pitcher plant observing it, they will slip on the liquid in the pitcher plants and fall to the bottom of it, at which point their wings will become wet and they will not be able to get out. And then slowly they will be broken down inside the pitcher plant. Like the Venus flytrap does. Only in this case, it is breaking them down. It is keeping them in place in order to break them down, not by blocking their exit, but simply by making them unable to get to the exit. Cough, cough. I didn't feel like actually coughing. My throat is actually suffering too much for me to actually cough, which is odd, but, true. A child intruder? That must be you! But yeah, after 3 episodes, the throat is struggling, on the struggle bus right now, but, anyway, so, Victory Bell, basically, I need to get Albert out of the front, I really do. They are getting so much XP that they do not need right now. Like, Albert went from, like, really needing XP to, like, really not, because now they are level 44. They are literally higher level than our starter. So, what are we fighting? Aerodactyl. Who can take an Aerodactyl? It's not Albert? Well, who can take an Aerodactyl? Because Albert couldn't even take one right now. They are out of moves. Ordinarily, they would be able to take one. In this situation, they cannot. Let's put in Andrew. Andrew doesn't really need a whole lot of XP, but I guess they are no longer the highest level on the team, so we can give them some. I've been not using them for a while just to sort of let everyone else catch up, but at this point, everyone else has caught up, so we're gonna actually go for the Surf, because I feel like even though electric is stab, Surf is just gonna do more purely because it's also super effective and like just the power of it. Oh my gosh, Albert is level 45. What is going on? I need to get them out of the front. I need to stop talking about pitcher plants and Venus Flytraps and get Albert out of the front. I have nothing on this Pokemon that is actually like not very effective, so I'm stupid for keeping them in. I just felt like spamming buttons and like not actually thinking. It's risky to switch something in when they're this low level because one hit from a lot of things could kill. Sorry, not this low level, this low health, because a lot of things could kill at this health. But whatever, we're doing it. I'm not afraid of you, Ivysaur, and it paid off. We're good. We didn't lose Carly. Everything's fine. No one died. Great. I'm gonna take a quick drink of water because my throat, like I said, suffering right now. 3rd episode of the day. Throat is not liking it. And there's another burp. Moves make room for agility. Who is learning agility? Is it Jolteon again? No. I already got rid of agility on Jolteon. I do not need to learn it again. But, Alex defeated the Ranger! And, fine, I lost! And so, what I learned, my brother brought up to me, what my brother brought up to me was the Pokedex entry for Vileplume? Not Vileplume, Victory Bell. What? There shouldn't be any children here. What my brother brought up to me was the Pokedex entry for Victory Bell, and I don't know what game it was, but I think it was I'm sure it must have been Gen 1. Because Gen 1 Pokedex entries were unhinged. Like, they were notably, like, they exaggerated quite a bit, I feel. Like, a lot of them were pretty extreme by today's standards. Like, modern Pokedex entries aren't nearly that extreme. And I think that, like, a lot of... I guess there are still, like, pretty extreme ones today, but, like, I feel like they really try to make... They really tried to start things off with, like, crazy things, so they exaggerated, like, quite a lot in Gen 1. They wanted to make these creatures seem really different from, like, real-world stuff. They wanted to make them seem, like, big Pokemon seem, like, so different from real-world creatures. So I'm sure in Gen 1, I think in Gen 1 they did, like, a lot of exaggerating, and which leads to some crazy Pokedex entries, like they would say, like, oh, yeah, this is a bat, and it's like, okay, like, Golbat, they'd be like, okay, this is a bat, it's like, yeah, and like, but did you know that it's, the reason why it's so chubby is because its body is just basically a blood sac, because it just sucks blood out of things, and it's bulging with the blood. It's like, okay, well, that's interesting. It's like, they sort of, like, do these crazy... make these crazy exaggerations and, like, sort of write these crazy facts about Pokemon and Pokedex entries in Gen 1 just to, like, draw people's attention, I feel. Where it's like, oh, yeah, Haunter just licks the soul out of things. It's like... and so, like, in one of Victory Bell's Pokedex entries, I'm sure it's the Gen 1 one, because, like I said, Gen 1 Pokedex entries, unhinged. But, in one of its Pokedex entries, it says that, what it does, that it's like, it swallows people, I don't know if it says it swallows people, but it swallows creatures. And then like once it spits them out, they're nothing but bone. Which further proves that this thing is a pitcher plant, because that's what pitcher plants do. They like wait for something. They wait for something to fall into them, and then that thing slowly breaks down until there's nothing left. So obviously, oh goodness, obviously flies don't really have bones. So with an actual pitcher plant, it wouldn't stop because there'd be nothing to stop at, and it makes sense. The victory bell would stop at the bone, and then spit out the bones when it's done breaking everything else down. But like a real pitcher plant wouldn't stop at bone, but I guess it technically would, because like it would, but we just wouldn't know because flies don't have bones. So since Victory Bell is a giant pitcher plant, we get to see how a pitcher plant would sort of behave if it was huge and able to break down like huge animals and not just bugs. And so it makes sense that it would stop at the bone. We can't know with an actual pitcher plant because it's never they don't swallow things that big. Things that big don't fall into actual pitcher plants. But I'd assume an actual pitcher plant would stop at the bone if they broke down things that were that big. Anyway, it's a Pokemon report. Pokemon Lab created Porygon, the first virtual reality Pokemon. What does that even mean? Like a Pokemon that lives in a virtual reality? The first Pokemon to ever use play a virtual reality video game. In 1996, over 160 Pokemon techniques have been confirmed. See, that's crazy, right? Like, there are 160 moves, and I'm getting duplicate TMs. It's a Pokemon report. 4 Pokemon evolve, only when traded by link cable. In this game, there are only 4 Pokemon that do that, yes. And those Pokemon are, let me see if I can name them. Haunter to Gengar, Kadabra to Alakazam. We study Pokeball technology on this floor. Slowpoke to Slowbro. I think. I'm fairly sure. And... oh, wait, what? Oh, maybe I'm wrong. It said 4 Pokemon, right? Am I wrong, or is the game wrong? Because I'm like, oh, okay. Haunter to Gengar, Kadabra to Alakazam, Slowpoke to Slowbro, and Graveler to Golem. And then I was like, wait a minute, but Machoke to Machamp. That's 5. Unless I'm wrong. Unless I'm wrong and Slowpoke to Slowbro isn't a trait evolution, but I feel like it is. I'm fairly sure because, like, I feel like I remember in Sword and Shield getting a Cantonian Slowpoke and then being like, oh, how do I evolve this? And then I was like, oh, it's trait evolution? Ew. Maybe that's just Slowking. Maybe it's just Slowking that's trait evolution, but I feel like both of them are. I thought both of them were. Maybe I'm wrong. It wouldn't make sense, though, if it was trait evolution, because it's like, well, in order for a Slowpoke to evolve, like, canonically, it has to have a Shelder bite its tail, and how does trading it make a Shelder bite its tail? Like, that doesn't really make any sense. How does doing anything as a trainer make a Shelder bite a Slowpoke's tail? I don't know. How does gaining experience in battle... How would gaining experience in battle make a Slowpoke evolve, you know? Like, regardless of how Slowpoke evolves into Slowbro, either way it doesn't make any sense. Like, the only thing that would make sense, like, in accordance with the Pokedex, is if you just, like, if you could just, like, pick up a Shelder, put it in your bag, and then use it on the Slowpoke. Like, that's the only thing that would make logical sense, given what the Pokedex entry says about its evolution process. Yeah, y'all remember Surfing Pikachu from the anime? I was gonna say y'all remember the Pokemon episode in the anime where Ash found out about how Slowpoke evolves, but that one wasn't really that interesting. I will say, gotta love the guy who dresses like Kabuto. I don't know if that's that episode, but there's that guy that dressed as like a giant Kabuto, and it's just so funny to me that like why was he even doing that? I don't remember. But there's definitely a guy dressed up as a giant Kabuto. Maybe it's the Lighthouse episode. Bro, like the Lighthouse episode literally foreshadowed Dynamax. It's crazy because they're just like, oh look, giant Dragonite, and they're like, why is a Dragonite that big? Like, I don't know. It's like, and then over 20 years later, they're like, oh, thing that can make Pokemon big. And it's like, oh, okay. And then Dragonite was added in Crown Tundra, and it's like, oh yeah, we can do the scene from the anime now. But yeah, there was that episode where they literally, I think that's like a required episode. Like, I think that they had to sort of like show how it happened. Obviously, dang, blast it! Obviously, they had to give like every Pokemon an anime episode, but I feel like Slowpoke was just like a very required one, like just so we could see like, hey, how does this work? You know, because it's such a weird thing to have to like explain to you. It's like, okay, the Pokédex entry says, oh, when a Slowpoke gets bitten on the tail, it becomes a Slowbro. When it gets bitten on the tail by a Shelder, it becomes a Slowbro. I heard a kid was wandering around. And I think it's one thing to just like read it and be like, huh, that's interesting. Because then it doesn't really make like that much sense. It's like, how does that work? And then like you see the anime representation of it, and it's like, well, that still doesn't make much sense. But now it makes slightly more, you know? Like it's something that you just like they just needed to showcase like how it works. Even if showing it doesn't make it make that much more sense, it's still like, I think it was still like necessary that I think it was still a good idea to show the audience, like just give them an idea of how this works. It's like it works exactly how you would think it would work, but I'm glad that we got a visual representation of it. It's like it works exactly how you think it would work by just reading the Pokédex entry. But I'm glad that we know it works that way, you know? I'm glad that we know it works the way you think it would work. I'm glad that they showed it, even if it's just like, well, yeah, obviously. Because now we can say, well, yeah, obviously. And now we can say, like, oh yeah, it does work the way it would work. Obviously, that's how it would work. Obviously, because now we know, like, that it works the way you would think it would work. The Slowpoke gets bitten on the tail by the Shelder, and then it's just a white flash of light, and then it evolves into a Slowbro. It is still kind of weird that, like, it is kind of weird, though, that, like, it looks nothing like a Slowpoke. It looks nothing like a Shelder. The Shelder on Slowpoke's tail looks nothing like a Shelder. Like, that's something that we still need explaining. Like, because the thing is that, like, when Slowpoke evolves, it looks nothing, like, it looks exactly the same, only it stood up. It looks basically exactly the same, only it stood up. When this, like, the biggest change when Slowpoke evolves into Slowbro is not like what happens, is not like a change done to that happens to the Slowpoke. Rather, it's a change that happens to the Shelder on its tail. Like, Slowpoke stays relatively the same when it evolves. The Shelder on its tail is, like, no longer a Shelder after it evolves, though. But, anyway, I thought I was gonna finish Self-Co today. Self-Co in this episode. I did not, so this is gonna be the last episode I record for today. I am not going to be finishing Self-Co this recording session. As I said, I thought Self-Co would take a long time, and it is taking a long time, so, I will probably finish it in the next episode, ? Not making any promises, but, I probably will. Thank you all so much for watching EV Clan. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And this is Alex Espion, signing off.